Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WWE 2k25 universe. In today's video we're going to be talking about match choreography. Yeah, you heard me right. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading as much real life stuff, does get in the way sometimes. I'm going to be back to normal as soon as things do settle down in that. But I'm all focused on this guide, and in this guide we're going to talk about match choreography and using two controllers. It is applicable with one controller, but let's just talk about different match types, how you can pace them to make them sort of different, achieve the goals that you want them to achieve. So we're going to start off with, what is match choreography? In WWE and in professional wrestling, most matches play out with the wrestlers improvising. In WWE 2k25 universe mode, that is displayed by either the AI or players playing the game. Choreograph matches are different to matches that you just play. These are carefully scripted contests where the winners, the key moments, the false finishes and the story beats are all pre-planned to create the most engaging storytelling possible. Using two controllers and manual pacing, you can simulate the way that real wrestling matches are booked, complete with post-match cutscenes, emotional twists and character arcs, giving your universe mode the drama of a TV product instead of just random outcomes. So, setting up with two controllers. And what can you do with two controllers? So obviously you guys know how to connect two controllers to your console or your PC. But some things that you can do is trigger mid-match animations. You can use the highlight reel to create an animation. What I always recommend you do before you even begin to start a match is to create a custom match where you have no disqualification and maximum amount of finishes from the start. This way you can kind of create the cutscenes to tailor make whatever you need. You can set up realistic cutscenes post-match, so instead of using the rivalry actions, you can use two controllers to do specific attacks. If you're wanting someone to put someone through a table with a finisher, with a custom match, you can do this. With two controllers, you can also control the pace by switching inputs. You can change the pace of a match by getting somebody to slow it down by doing sort of holds or repositioning. And you can kind of adapt it to whatever you want to do. So if you're using two controllers, you can pace a match, and if you feel like somebody's been too dominant, you can switch the input that you focused on, get a reversal, put them in a submission, take your time, think about what your next spot is, think about what the match needs to achieve what you need to achieve. So we're going to go over 10 very, very quick match types that I like to use in my universe mode, and then we're going to go through the match structure, which is how I plan my matches, or did plan my matches. So 10 types of match. Number 1, a momentum match. This is a competitive back and forth to help a wrestler gain crowd support or climb the ranks. You can choreograph this match by pacing momentum swings evenly, allowing both wrestlers to shine without stealing the show. Match number 2, a squash match. This is a one-sided destruction to establish dominance or introduce a monster. Choreographed by keeping one wrestler on offense, landing big moves quickly and decisively, and ending the match a lot quicker than anticipated. Match number 3, rivalry match. This should be packed with aggression and character-driven spots, choreographed by including brawling segments, callbacks to prior confrontations, and a finish that will only escalate the feud. Number 4, a blow-off match. Climactic, emotionally intense, end to a feud choreographed with callbacks, dramatic false finishes, and possibly even stipulations, for example, no disqualification or a cage. They allow for closure and character shifts. These matches should be acted to put over, and you've heard that word, the person that you want to win the rivalry. Match type number 5, showcase match. Focused on delivering elite, smooth and exciting wrestling performance, choreographed by ensuring high-paced sequences, clean reversals and minimum shenanigans. Match type number 6, a shock match. Ends unexpectedly or quickly to create buzz or swerve the audience. You can choreograph this by ending it abruptly with a surprise roll-up, DQ, somebody returning or a betrayal. Match number 7, story-driven match. The action is secondary to the angle. For example, betrayal or an injury angle. You can choreograph this by centering your highlight reel on moments such as a mid-match interference, emotional hesitations or big debuts. You can use the highlight reel to showcase just how intense an injury could be. For example, hitting a finisher, showing somebody laid down and struggling could be a great example to write somebody off for a short period of time. Match type number 8, heel showcase. The heel cheats, dominates and manipulates the flow. Choreograph by using rope breaks, foreign objects when the referee is not looking, stalling and cheap shots to get heat. Heels can be built a lot better when you're choreographing matches than they can just by competing. Match type number 9, a tag team chemistry match. If you're wanting to introduce a new tag team, you could choreograph a match where you can display synergy and dynamics between two individuals. You can choreograph with frequent tags, tandem offense, hot tags, and saves. You can really build a relationship just by choreographing certain spots like hot tags or tag team finishes. Number 10, number 1 contenders match. High stakes. You often want these to be clean and competitive. It's a way to earn a title shot. Choreographed by maximizing the athletic storytelling. Showcase plenty of near falls. Have a decisive but a credible winner. I have broken down the match structure into around 15 minutes. You can shorten this for whatever you want to achieve. This structure is mainly focused on matches where there is two dancers to tango, you know what I mean? A squash match this wouldn't be applicable for. A squash match is where one person has offense and the other just gets buried. A choreographed match that is back and forth, in my opinion, and in my choreographing, has 4 acts. So we're going to look at Act 1, the opening, the first 3 minutes of the match. What is the purpose? To establish character's tone and who controls the match early. Lockups, taunts and chain wrestling can be used to display this. Heel may stall or cheat early. They could even leave the ring, build a bit of tension, get the crowd a bit on the backs. The babyface alternatively can show fire and a crowd connection by using taunts. You can use things like light grapples and slow pace moves to really sell Act 1. Act 1 is all about the introduction. Act 2, mid-match build. I class this as around 3 to 7 minutes. And the purpose is to build momentum, heat and story layers. So you want to determine whether your heel's going to gain control of the match. You can do this by targeting a body part, you see it so many times in wrestling, to slow down the pace and show a dominant performance. You can have nearly comebacks from the babyface, so I might get one move but then it's quartered and thwarted by the heel. You can tease signature spots but always try and make it so that it's a mid-match build. You can do this by reversing signatures and use reversals and realistic transitions to keep it feeling like it's the early to mid stage of the match. Act number 3, the climax and false finishes. Once you've got sort of an idea of who's going to control the match, you can then introduce some peak emotional engagement and drama. How do you do this? Big moves should be hit, signatures should be hit, and finishes should be teased. So how I would pace Act 3 is I would do everything apart from the finishers. If you're going to do a finisher, unless it's a PLE match, I would have finishers reversed or finishers not quite hit properly. And just you're reaching that climactic point where something's got to give at some point. You can use dramatic kickouts by using 2 controllers. You can use the sliders to make kicking out easy, and you can control when the individual kicks out, so make them kick out at like 2.9 seconds. You can pipe in some crowd chants and some big reactions. Ref bumps and distractions are great in this period of the match, which is around 7 to 12 minutes, where you kind of feel like you're getting to the finish. It's a good way to kind of keep the viewer guessing where the match is going to go. And Act 4, the finish. So the purpose of the finish is to end the story with a meaningful payoff. Clean win, dirty finish, or controversial moment. Whatever happens, you need something decisive. Before you start a match, I would always say that the key thing that you need to consider is the finish. Do you want it to be a roll-up pin? Do you want it to be a clean win? Do you want it to be an interference, a disqualification, a no contest? Like, what is the end? It's a little bit like booking. You want to always see your matches like you already know what the finish is. Everything in between can be completely improvised on the fly, but a finish, for me, I would try and put it in as concrete as possible. And that's it, really. That's the 4 acts that I use to get a match that is like the product we see on TV. I do have some bonus story spots to enhance a match. So One that I call the hope spot, where the babyface teases a comeback but gets shut down. We mentioned that obviously in the mid-match section. A callback spot, so if these guys have had a match in the past, can you do, and it finished a certain way, can you repeat that exact spot but give it a different outcome? You can tease a disqualification, especially with heels. Get the highlight reel, use a cutscene where, or make a cutscene where the heel's about to use a chair, but then he kind of realizes that he'll lose the match, and then obviously to enhance the match. Always think about what you want to do post-match. Is there an ambush, a save, a debut, or a respect shown? How will you continue the story? Anyway, guys, I think that's a pretty in-depth guide of how to choreograph a match. If you do have any questions, of course, please leave them in the comments. When you're making a match, here's the question on WWE 2k25. What is one thing you consider? Do you just play the match, or do you have a plan? Guys, let me know in the comments. Remember, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next one, and peace.